So imagine this. A refinery pump is vibrating excessively. Engineers suspect imbalance. The pump is rebalanced. The vibration remains. Then they suspect bearing damage. Bearings are replaced. Still no improvement. Finally, the entire pump is replaced. And yet the vibration is still there. How is that possible? Because sometimes the pump isn't the problem. The piping is. In fact, many vibration problems blamed on pumps actually originate from the piping system connected to them. Flow turbulence, pressure pulsations, mechanical resonance, acoustic excitation, all hidden forces capable of turning a perfectly healthy pump into what appears to be a failing machine. And if engineers focus only on the pump, they may never find the real cause. Today we're going to decode one of the most misunderstood topics in pump engineering, piping-induced vibration. You'll learn why it happens, how it damages equipment, how to identify it, and how world-class engineers prevent it before it destroys reliability. This is 3D Decode. Let's begin. Next, the real culprit was the piping. Let's start with a real-world story. A pump was experiencing severe vibration. The maintenance team immediately focused on the pump. After all, that's where the vibration appeared. The pump was inspected. Nothing unusual was found. So the pump was replaced. The vibration continued. A second replacement followed. And once again, the vibration remained. At this point, the team realized something important. The pump wasn't failing. The pump was reacting. After detailed analysis, engineers discovered that the piping system itself was creating the vibration. Poor piping design had created resonance. The piping was amplifying forces and transmitting them directly back into the pump. The pump was simply the victim. And this scenario happens far more often than most engineers realize, which is why vibration troubleshooting must always look beyond the pump itself, because sometimes the most obvious suspect is completely innocent. Next, what is piping-induced vibration? So what exactly is piping-induced vibration? Simply put, it's vibration generated by the piping system rather than the pump. The forces originate within the piping, but eventually travel into the pump structure, making it appear as though the pump is the source. Several mechanisms can create this vibration: flow turbulence, pressure pulsations, mechanical resonance, acoustic excitation. Each one creates dynamic forces inside the piping network. Those forces travel through supports, through nozzles, through structures, and eventually reach the pump. This is why piping-induced vibration is often misdiagnosed, because the symptoms appear at the pump, but the root cause exists somewhere else, and unless engineers understand the entire system, they may never identify the true source. Next, why pump systems are vulnerable. Now let's understand why pump systems are especially vulnerable, because even under normal operation, centrifugal pumps naturally generate dynamic forces. Every impeller rotation creates pressure fluctuations. Every blade passing the cutwater generates hydraulic excitation. These pressure pulsations travel throughout the fluid, downstream, upstream, throughout the piping network. Normally, these forces are small, but when piping design is poor, something dangerous happens. The piping starts amplifying those forces. Think of a child pushing a swing. A small push at the right frequency creates large motion. The same principle applies to piping resonance. A relatively small hydraulic excitation can become a major vibration problem when frequencies align. And in extreme cases, resonance can amplify vibration 10 to 50 times, turning a minor disturbance into a serious reliability threat. Next, common causes of piping vibration. Now let's look at the most common causes. The first is mechanical resonance. This occurs when the natural frequency of the piping matches an excitation frequency. When that happens, vibration amplitudes increase dramatically. The second cause is flow-induced turbulence. Every elbow, every reducer, every valve, every restriction creates turbulent flow patterns. Those turbulent eddies generate fluctuating forces, and fluctuating forces create vibration. The third cause is acoustic resonance. Pressure waves bounce inside the piping system. Under certain conditions, standing waves form, and those standing waves create persistent vibration problems. Then comes cavitation, one of the most destructive vibration sources. Vapor bubbles form, collapse violently, and generate shock waves throughout the piping system. The important lesson here is simple. Not all vibration originates from rotating equipment. Sometimes the fluid itself becomes the source. Next, design features that increase risk. Certain piping designs create vibration problems almost automatically. Long unsupported pipe spans are one example. Long spans are flexible. Flexible systems have lower natural frequencies, and lower frequencies are more likely to align with pump excitation frequencies. Thin wall piping creates similar challenges. Lower stiffness means easier vibration excitation. Closely spaced elbows create complex flow patterns. Sudden diameter changes increase turbulence. Poor support stiffness allows excessive movement. And one surprising contributor is improperly selected flexible connections. Many people assume flexible connectors always reduce vibration, but in some cases, they reduce system stiffness enough to move natural frequencies into dangerous operating ranges. This is why vibration control begins during design, because once the system is installed, corrections become significantly more expensive. Next, suction versus discharge piping effects. Let's compare suction piping and discharge piping, because both can create vibration, but for different reasons. Starting with suction piping, this side directly affects hydraulic stability entering the impeller. Poor suction design can create cavitation, swirling flow, air entrainment, flow separation. All of these create unstable hydraulic forces, and those forces generate vibration. Now let's move to discharge piping. Here the concern is often pressure pulsations. The pump generates pulsating forces. The discharge piping transmits those forces. And if acoustic resonance develops, the pulsations can become significantly amplified. Long headers, manifolds, partially closed valves, reducers, all contribute to discharge side vibration problems. This is why engineers must evaluate both sides of the pump, because vibration rarely respects equipment boundaries. Next, support and restraint importance. Now we arrive at one of the most important vibration control tools, pipe supports. Many engineers think supports only carry weight, but supports do much more than that. They control natural frequencies, they limit movement, they prevent resonance, and they reduce vibration amplitudes. A properly supported system behaves completely differently from an unsupported one. Let's look at the key support types. Rigid supports restrict movement. Guides allow thermal expansion while limiting lateral motion. Anchors prevent movement in all directions. Snubbers provide restraint during dynamic events. Each support type serves a specific purpose, and support spacing is equally important. Move a support, and you change the natural frequency. Change the natural frequency, and you may eliminate resonance completely. That's why support design is such a critical part of vibration prevention. Next, interaction with pump structure. Now here's where piping vibration becomes especially dangerous, because eventually those forces reach the pump. Once piping loads enter the pump structure, multiple problems begin appearing. The first is misalignment. Piping strain can pull the pump and motor out of alignment. Then comes soft foot conditions. Uneven piping loads create unstable support conditions. Nozzle overload becomes another concern. The forces transmitted through the piping exceed manufacturer limits. And finally, bearing stress increases. External loads add to the normal operating loads, reducing bearing life, increasing vibration, and accelerating failure. The important lesson is this: a perfectly healthy pump can develop mechanical problems simply because the piping system is unstable, which means fixing the pump alone won't solve the problem. Next, detection clues. So how do engineers identify piping-induced vibration? Fortunately, the system leaves clues. One major clue is vibration distribution. If vibration is higher on the piping than on the pump bearings, investigate the piping first. Another clue is sensitivity to flow rate. If vibration changes dramatically when flow changes, the cause may be hydraulic rather than mechanical. Multiple unrelated frequencies provide another warning sign, especially frequencies that don't match running speed or blade passing frequency. Physical evidence is equally important. Visible pipe movement, broken supports, loose clamps, cracked welds, fatigue damage, leaking flanges, all suggest piping-related vibration. And here's an important rule. If vibration remains after pump replacement, stop replacing pumps. Start investigating piping dynamics. Next, prevention strategies. The best way to solve vibration problems is to prevent them entirely. That starts with natural frequency analysis during design. Engineers must ensure piping frequencies remain separated from operating frequencies. Support spacing must be calculated properly. Long spans should be avoided. Suction piping should follow Hydraulic Institute recommendations. Flexible connections must be selected carefully. And most importantly, resonance must be avoided. A common design target is maintaining at least 20% frequency separation, because once resonance appears, even small excitation forces become dangerous. Prevention is always cheaper than troubleshooting and far cheaper than repeated equipment replacement. Next, operational remedies. What if the system is already installed? Can vibration still be reduced? Absolutely. One option is changing the operating point. Adjusting pump speed can move excitation frequencies away from resonance. Changing flow rate may produce similar benefits. Additional supports can alter natural frequencies. Damping devices can reduce vibration amplitudes. And structural reinforcement can increase stiffness. Each solution changes the dynamic behavior of the system. The key is identifying the root cause first, because without understanding the source, corrective actions become guesswork, and engineering should never be guesswork. Next, why often misdiagnosed? Now let's answer the question that frustrates so many engineers. Why is piping-induced vibration so often misdiagnosed? Because the symptoms appear at the pump. The vibration is visible at the pump. The bearing temperatures rise at the pump. The seal leakage occurs at the pump. Everything points toward the pump. But the root cause often lies somewhere else. Traditional vibration analysis frequently focuses on rotating equipment, imbalance, misalignment, bearing defects, mechanical looseness, all valid investigations, but sometimes the problem isn't rotating equipment at all. It's the piping network. This is why successful troubleshooting requires a system perspective. Pump, piping, supports, hydraulics, structure. Everything must be evaluated together because the entire system vibrates together. Next interview Q&A, expert insights. Let's review some common interview questions. How do you distinguish pump vibration from piping vibration? Measure vibration throughout the system. If piping vibration exceeds pump vibration, investigate piping dynamics. Why is resonance dangerous? Because it amplifies vibration dramatically, sometimes by factors of 10 to 50. What role do supports play? They control natural frequencies and limit vibration amplitude. Why is suction piping so critical? Because it directly affects hydraulic stability and cavitation behavior. And what should be the first step if vibration remains after pump replacement? Investigate the piping system, because replacing equipment without identifying root cause rarely solves the problem. These are exactly the kinds of questions reliability engineers and rotating equipment specialists encounter regularly. Next, key takeaways. Let's finish with the most important lesson. A pump cannot be stable if the piping connected to it is unstable. That's the entire philosophy of piping-induced vibration awareness. The pump excites, the piping resonates, the system vibrates, and unless engineers understand the interaction between all three, the true cause may remain hidden. Always think beyond the pump. Evaluate the entire system, because many expensive pump replacements could have been avoided with one simple realization. The pump wasn't the problem. The piping was. Outro. So that's how piping-induced vibration can create serious reliability problems even when the pump itself is operating perfectly. From resonance to turbulence to support design to hydraulic instability, understanding the entire system is the key to successful troubleshooting. Because the most expensive vibration problem is the one you diagnose incorrectly. If you enjoyed this engineering breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with fellow engineers. And tell us in the comments, which vibration topic should 3D decode next? API 610 vibration limits, pump resonance, cavitation analysis, nozzle load effects, or advanced vibration diagnostics? I'm Astra X, and this is 3D Decode. See you in the next engineering breakdown.